What types of things are you measuring on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis in your company?
Probably less than you think, So if you're looking at, when I was driving here today, of which I was 5 minutes late, so I had failed, there's three things you look at. You look at the speedometer, you look at your fuel, and you look at your clock. Do I have the gas to get there? Am I going fast enough to meet the time that I need? Those are the three that we watch. I always look at our client acquisition costs. That's number one. That to me is the fuel. If I can acquire clients at the right cost, I can almost draw a straight line into what our revenue is going to be. And I've always told Dave, who runs it, if I make the phone ring, what tells you how long we've done this phone ring, if I can make the phone ring, can you make it profitable? And it's a pretty simple math equation. So for us, client acquisition cost is a big one. Next one we look at is our client retention. What's the time frame that they spend with us? And then third, I want to know people that exit. What were the reasons why they exit? Those are the three things that I watch on my dashboard. And then other people have other things they watch on their dashboard, and they've got, we try to win the year. So there's times they'll have a quarter, it might swell or shrink, but year over year, they want to be able to see the increase that they need to be able to see. 23 to 29%. We want to see growth year over year. And they have the authority to be able to do that. But those are the things I watch in that dashboard. Those are the KPIs for me that let me know where we're going. And it's back to the driveway ceiling on the knock on the door. I need to know every day what's happening in the marketplace with how we're perceived, what the market needs, how we're perceived, and are we giving them exactly what they need?
I feel like one of the reasons, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you're able to limit the number of KPIs you're looking at yourself is because of your cash management strategy, which, to be honest, I borrowed a lot from you after that conversation. You take your portion of the company's cash flow from the top line. Is that correct?
I know exactly what our profit margins need to be, and I pull that out almost immediately. So let's go back to the vacation. You go on a vacation, you got 4 days. You get to day 3, what do you start looking at? What have we not done that we wanted to do? You're starting to ration the time that you have and the fun you wanted to have, and then what's it going to cost? You're kind of moving these things around. If you take and dump all of your cash in one bucket, and then this goes to payroll, this goes to marketing, this goes here, the owner gets what's left. And that is not, what's going to be left? Nothing. And where'd it go? I don't know. And in years past, we had run into that where we're finding we've got stockpiles of inventory. We've got a year's worth of inventory over here. Much of it will go bad. Some of the products aren't even going to be available down the road. They're not going to be viable down the road. So our cash is left in waste. So if we know exactly what our percent profit is going to be for the company we're going to pull out, I'm taking that out. And then what's left is going to be allocated to the departments that they're going to be able to spend what's left. So here's what you have for the month. And what is that based on? That's based on the clients that came through. Knowing what clients came through, we know what our supplies are going to be, and we look at our fixed costs are going to be our rent, our electricity, and even our employees. So other than that, we know about what's going to be allocated. They're allocated to them. And if they run out, let's have a conversation when you run out. Because one of us is running out. Either I'm running out or you're running out. But if I run out, nobody has a job. If you run out, we can look at, is there a hiccup in the system? We can have a valid conversation. Hiccup in the system? Are we missing something our clients need? Did a cost go up of something? Those are the vital conversations we need to have that are never had unless somebody runs out of something. And then suddenly you have a valid conversation. But the main way that I look at my business that I have found that most entrepreneurs don't, and this might not apply to yours or to other businesses, but it certainly applies to mine, is when I evaluate the business, I look at everything's expense. I take my marketing budget, I pull it out, and I put it above my revenue. Because most of the time when people look at my P&Ls, they zero in on, why are you spending so much on marketing? The only purpose to have your rent, your employees, your supplies is so you can churn. What's the capacity that they have? How are you going to fill that capacity? So what makes my company an investment for me is I can put $1 in at the top and I should see $1 plus my profit margin come out through the bottom. If you're getting a good return, 10, 12, 20, 30% return on the dollars you put in the top, how much do you want to put in the top? The answer is as much as the system can handle. And so if you look at your marketing as your investment, and everything else an expense that churns through, I'm really looking at what dollar do I put in the top and how much comes in the bottom and what's the churn in between. And for us, it's a short lifespan through there. So dollar up here, within 180 days, I can start to see some of that come back, so I can churn that back into there. But I'm amazed at how many people will focus on that, like, oh, I shouldn't have to spend that much on marketing. I'm like, I'm always looking for efficiency of marketing with what our cost per client acquisition. But if I'm still getting an above market return with what I'm putting in, I'm going to keep putting it in until someone shows me that unless the numbers tell me I could get better returns somewhere else in some other investment. But for me, that makes this an investment for me and not just an expense. I don't see any other reason to have a small business unless you can leverage it up. And the way for me to leverage it up is through marketing. But that's also because I'm CEO that came out of marketing. So I'm always looking at I go into businesses and I solve problems through sales. I solve problems through growth, from top line growth. But people that are good managers they're going to find it through efficiency through the rest. So the team that works with me, we work really well together because I'll fill through the top and these guys are great at efficiency. And realistically, if you run the numbers on this, you will find that a minor tweak in efficiencies down through here has a much bigger impact on your bottom line than adding more through the top. But that is my skill set, and that is what I'm going to bring, and I'm going to let them get more efficiency through the rest. And there are times I look, I'm like, how did you get this much profit out of that? I didn't expect that. And of course, I turn around and say, that's great. I can spend more per lead, right? So there's that good natural tension that you should have with people advocating for each of those. And they're like, I think we can get more efficiency out of marketing. I'm like, let's do that while we continue to get the return, the above market return until there. We're not going to stop. We can do it in addition to. And I agree. Let's get that efficiency, but let's also, while it's working, let's get the hay in the barn.
In order to operate like that, you must have a very transparent organization. So can everyone in your organization on a management or leadership level view the P&L for the entire organization? And then they will request that, hey, Kevin, can you invest another couple $100,000 into Cleveland because we think we can turn that into X? Is that the way it's kind of operating?
Yep, absolutely. And usually what comes up happening is I come in, I'm like, I'm getting a great return. Can we open 3 more sites? Right. And so then they're trying, all right, well, where's the capacity? Who do we hire? How do we do this? Because that lands on them to find the people, train the people, put them in place. So I can outspend and outinvest what they can put in infrastructure. And so there's that natural tension of, all right, we can put a few more up, but they might not be as efficient as we need early on. And so we pull those out. We track them separately. So it doesn't bog down the numbers as a whole, but as soon as it retains back to that profitability and it pays back that initial loss of initial CapEx investment, then we're able to bring that back in and then it grows. And then they're bonused, our team is bonused on the overall operations. So you can have a tough quarter because you're investing. We've made some tweaks and we're investing, but another division can have a great quarter and you're going to benefit from that. So we get a lot of team cohesiveness from that. But we also get a lot of growth because they have certain ones have different skill sets, even though they have the same role, different skill sets, and they support each other within those roles.